Okay. I learned that, listen to this, you can only meet someone as deeply as you've met yourself. Very important. You can only meet someone as deeply as you've met yourself. What does that mean? You got to get to know you, right? Because if you know you can understand someone else a lot better. I can understand my leaders. I can understand my family. I can understand so many people now because I've taken the time to know Nano, right? It goes back to level one of emotional intelligence, self awareness. I know what my strengths are. I know what my weaknesses are. I know what these things are. I paid attention to them. I understand my emotions. I recognize them. So now, when I'm helping people, remember, I can't take someone where I want to take them without starting where they are. I can start where the person is because I know how they feel. I know what they're thinking. And even if I may have not gone through the same situation as the person is going through, the emotions are the same, right? Whether you're sad about something because this happened to you, and I'm sad because another thing happened to me, what we have in common is that we're both sad, right? So the emotion is the same, the situation might be different, but I know how to take someone out of a sad emotion into a happy one, right? I understand that now. I know how to get someone from being unmotivated to motivated again, right? I know how to pivot these emotions. We know how to do those, right? So this is very important um, when it comes to social awareness. You got to understand the emotions of others. And then the fourth level of emotional intelligence is relationship management, okay, which is using your understanding of emotions to choose actions that improve relationships. I'll repeat that again. Relationship management is basically using your understanding of your own emotions, all right, to choose actions that improve relationships. This whole life is all about relationships. I read in this book once that the most valuable commodity on earth is relationships. It's not money, it's not gold, it's not Bitcoin, it's not real estate, it's none of those things. It's relationships because relationships, they're forever, okay? And believe it or not, guys, and you guys may already know this because you've experienced it or you know someone who has, but how many of us know about situations, relationships that are no longer there because of their lack of emotional intelligence? People broke up, people went through tough things, bridges that were burned, relationships that ended, friendships that we thought were going to be forever that are no longer there because of lack of emotional intelligence. And that's how it is. We need to see it. And emotions cost people a lot. They say, I grew up in the streets and of New York, and one of the things that we grew up listening to, from the rappers and from people, is that emotions will get you killed in the streets. If you don't know how to use your emotions the right way, you could lose your life in the streets. Not saying that here in general, but these were things that, when you look at life and the way everything works, you got to know how to manage your emotions the right way. And part of that is helping you build relationships. You have to be the right example, not only for yourself, but for your kids. You got to be the right example for your leaders. When people look at you, do you know how to manage your emotions the right way? How do you keep yourself together in tough situations when, it looks like the world is falling apart? Do you keep the poker face? How do you react when somebody, does something to you in public? How do you react or respond when you're having that argument or that conversation with your significant other or with that business partner? How do you react or respond when you go through a tough time in your business, you take a tough loss, a business partner stabs you in the back, whatever it is? What's your ability to manage your emotions in those periods of time? Right? Relationship management is all about understanding that so that you can improve relationships, and also knowing when to use your, emotions for the proper way. Right? That's also very, very key, because if you're not using your emotions to help better others, then what's the point of having them, right? If you're feeling good, if you're feeling happy, if you're feeling uplifted, share that with others. If you're believing in yourself, share that belief with others, right? If you're feeling confident, share that confidence with others, right? Let others know when you're feeling good. Share those emotions with others, right? Because, like I said earlier, energy is not created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. So the same way you can transfer negative energy, you can transfer positive energy, belief, faith, love, appreciation, gratitude, all these great things. Learn how to transfer those as well. And that's part of your relationship management and learning how to use your emotions. So, those right there are the 4 levels of emotional intelligence. Number one, self awareness. Number two, self management. Number three, social awareness. And number four, relationship management. Practice this, study this podcast over and over and over again. Practice the specific strategies and the techniques that you can use to develop this skill. And remember, once you have this, nobody could ever take this away from you. You'll be able to manage your business better. You'll be able to manage your relationships better. Everything in life will just become so much more easy because you are in control of your emotions. All right, guys. So I pray this episode was filled with value and that you guys are able to get an incredible amount of just wisdom from this that you can use to help grow your businesses and to help. All right, let's get started with today's call, familia. Grand Rising, happy Wednesday, and welcome to Mornings with Nano YouTube and Instagram edition. I'm so blessed and so excited to be on this call with all of you. I pray everybody is having a good morning. Everybody's having a grand rising, as I like to call it, a blessed rising. Because every single day that we get a chance to wake up is a great day for us to grow, is a great day for us to become better. And I'm always good. Today, this morning, I finished reading a book called Your Next 5 Moves. And there's just something about finishing a book, right? Because when you finish a book, is this huge sense of accomplishment, right? You get this huge sense of accomplishment. Like, man, I just finished a good book. 280 pages later, it feels like that book took forever for me to read, at least a couple of months. But I finished it, which was really good. I'm heading into my next book. I purchased it today. I said I needed it by today. I'm going to be reading this book called Influence, which I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. And it's all about business growth and how to influence people the proper way. And because that's where I'm headed in terms of my speaking career, in terms of Mornings with Nano, retreats, shout out to the launch of the official retreat. Who was on the call yesterday? Real quick, put a 2 in the chat box if you were on the launch last night for the Solstice Retreat. Who was on that call last night? And who wasn't on the call? Who wasn't on the call last night? I want to see who else wasn't on the call, because I want to make sure that, we actually give you guys an opportunity to see something here today. Because what I want to do for you guys is I want to give you guys a sneak preview of where it is, obviously. Thank you guys for all who wasn't on. I missed it. I was on a team call. No worries at all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a little bit of a breakdown on today's call. Obviously, I want to share with you guys, and then I want to jump into my training. So what I want to do for anybody that missed the call yesterday, I want to play a video for you of where the location is going to be. It's about a 2.5-minute video where I announced, because I also want people who didn't get the chance to jump on yesterday's call to hear it here. But then I also want to go over the presentation briefly for about 10 minutes and kind of show everybody where we're going with the Mornings with Nano retreat, right? I want to jump into. I want you guys to give me about 15 minutes to cover everything. I'm gonna breeze through it. I'm not gonna do the full presentation like I did last night. If you do want to watch the recording, you could watch it in the Telegram chat. But what I want to do is, for my Mornings with Nano family, the people that are able to jump on in the mornings, I want to give you guys a glimpse of it, right? Because we're going to be closing submissions here soon. So I want to be able to show you guys, now that it's officially launched, now that I've posted it on my Instagram, now that, we've had so many submissions already, people ready to go. I got people calling me this morning like, bro, I'm ready to go. Send me the link. How much do I got to pay? So it's like,
it's overwhelming because it's like, sheesh, bro, there's so many people that want to come, and now the demand is so high, but the supply is so low, right? Because I only have so many people that can go to the event, and I want to make sure that I make this event very special and super key. So I want to give you guys a quick video here so you guys can watch it with me on where the location is going to be. But then I also want to give you guys a glimpse of the presentation so I could kind of just cover a couple things with you. Just give me 15 minutes and then we'll jump into a training, all right, real quick. So let me just show you guys. You guys could watch this with me. There you go, fam. So we're going to El Salvador for the Mornings with Nano retreat for the first time. It's called the Solstice Retreat. And I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it. It's been years in the making. It's been something that I've been working on for years now. And I specifically, myself and Jasmine, we've always wanted to do it for this community right here, for the Mornings with Nano community. And when I thought about it, I said, yo, where should we take the family? Like where are we gonna take the rest of the squad, the family? The reason why we picked El Salvador, it was because, I was looking around and I was looking at our options, right? And as I looked around at my options, I said, I want to be able to pick a location that is secluded, right? Masada it's basically a hidden gem in the Pacific coast of El Salvador. The jungle meets the ocean, and it's a beautiful place. Now, I didn't want to just pick a place that was crowded, like most resort towns that people go to, right? That's crowded. This is it's a secluded sanctuary. So it's designed to help you disconnect from the noise of the world so that you could be able to reconnect with yourself on the deepest level. That was the idea behind this. I didn't just want us to go to a popular resort and let's have fun, let's get lit and have hundreds and thousands of people in the same place as us. No, I didn't want that. I wanted something that was exclusive, something that was private, but something that was also energetically incredible, right? Because you see, this land right here in particular, it holds very powerful energy because it's surrounded by volcanoes, waterfalls, and sacred indigenous traditions, right? It's a place where you can truly feel the pulse of the earth. So it was very intentionally, picked for those that, are wondering more about it. And then, on top of that, it was also featured in New York Times best places to go, 52 best places to go in 2024. So it wasn't just a regular location that I picked here. It was a location that I wanted to make sure that it was also popular and it was also something that people want to be a part of. Like for you to be in the top 52 places in the whole entire world to go to, it's a pretty big deal. So, we made sure of that. Now, the whole idea for the 4 days that we're going to be out there, so that you guys understand this and everybody gets the vision here, the goal for the 4 days is the first day we want to reflect on how far we've come, whether it's how far we've come this year, how far we've come in life. The second day we want to release. We want to release all the bad energy, anything that isn't serving us, any emotions, any traumas, anything that is not serving to be the best version of us. We want to release that. We want to release all of it. The third day is to renew. Let's renew yourself. Let's set new goals. Let's step into that new identity that you want to step into, right? Let's put you in a position now where you're gonna leave this retreat a new version of yourself. And then the last day, we're gonna rebirth. You're gonna show up as a new version of yourself. You're gonna leave this retreat a completely new version. Okay, that's the purpose of it. Those 4 days are going to be transformational. Now, this is the four components that we're going to focus on while we're there, right? These are the four components while we're there. Now, obviously, number one at the top is sacred environment and a nature immersion, right? Because this is a secluded luxury sanctuary where the jungle meets the ocean, it's meant for us to disconnect from all the noise and reconnect with nature and ourselves, right? So, we're going to be disconnected. When we land in the airport, we have like an hour and a half drive to the sanctuary, all right? Because it's away from cities, it's away from the noise. We're literally going to be away from everything. We're going to be in a town where we're going to have a beautiful resort to ourselves where we get a good chance to reconnect with nature, right? So that's going to be one of the ideas. Now, another thing is going to be mind, body, soul practices. You see, this is going to be a beautiful blend of meditation, breath work, movement, journaling, ceremonies, healing experiences, everything that's going to align with becoming a better version of yourself. That's what the design was for. I wanted to make it very intentional. So I wanted to get everybody to align their minds, their body, and their soul so that you can be the best version of you. We're also going to be doing deep work and guided transformation. So we're going to be having workshops. So there is going to be trainings while we're there. We're going to do very intentional journal sessions where we're going to let go. We're going to burn pages. Like it's going to get very intentional. We're going to have sharing circles where I'm sure it's going to lead to people shedding some tears. There's going to be one-on-one sessions that we're going to be able to spend time with ourselves with. So this is going to be super cool. And then on top of that, there's going to be a curated community, an intimate connection. There's going to be very, very high level people at these events, right? I'm specifically, even though I have a lot of people that have signed up, I'm going to be meticulously picking each individual hand by hand, guys. So, that's what that's going to be about. Now, these are some of the core experiences that you're going to experience while we're there. Remember, guys, I want to keep this short, simple. I don't want to run you guys through a whole presentation. I just want you guys to kind of see what's going to be happening at this place. We're going to be doing waterfall hikes, healing massage therapy. So for my people that need to let go of any tension, any energetic releases, we're going to have massage therapies, deep journaling, and guided workshop. There's a Temazcal, which is a Mayan sweat lodge ceremony. This is optional, but this is a ceremony that they do in the Salvadorian culture, which is basically represents a sacred rebirth. It is meant to detoxify, let go of old stories, and symbolically emerge renewed. This will be an option for people that want to do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm excited about doing it. I'm into a lot of those sacred things that you could do And obviously, it doesn't go against any of my, religious beliefs or anything like that. Obviously, God is always at the center of everything that I do. So I want to make sure that everybody also understands that this will not go against anything that you believe in as well. This is just sacred ceremonies that are done in the past, and I'm excited about those. We're also going to be doing sunrise meditations. We're going to wake up with the sun. We're going to do breath work. We're going to stretch. We're going to do cold plunges, sauna therapy, jungle gyms, beach candlelit dinners, bonfire, intention sessions. So like this is going to be like next level stuff. Like you're going there. Yes, we're going to have fun, but you're also going to transform. You're going to step into a new version of yourself. You're going to really understand everything that comes with it. Now, this is an example of what an itinerary is going to look like. And this is going to be one of our chill days, to be honest. Like this will be one of the chill days, which is probably the second day, which is where we'll wake up, sunrise. We'll do a meditation in the morning with some breath work and some stretching. Then we'll jump into some morning journaling where we'll be very intentional about our journal sessions. We'll do some sauna and some cold plunges. I hope you guys are ready to get out of your comfort zones and jump into some cold water. All right, because we're going to be doing some cold plunges. I want to show you guys the power of that. Then we'll have some good breakfast, which is included in everything. There's going to be a rest time so we can take some rest. Then we'll jump into some workshops, some Q&A. I'm also going to have some special guest speakers come out and speak. Deep tissue massages, community dinners, journal reflections. So overall, it's going to be great, guys. Like I said, I wanted to mesh the idea of relaxing, but also transforming your mind, body, and spirit while also having fun. So it's a combination of all three, right? I want you guys to come out here to relax, but I also want you guys to step into a transformational version of yourself, which is going to be super cool. This is more about the resort that you guys can take a look at. Obviously, it's a secluded beachfront, so it's going to be super dope. This is the Naui Beach House. It's connected to our resort. So on top of that, you guys will have access to this. This is where our meet and greet is going to be the first day that we arrive. Everybody will meet and greet at the Naui Beach House. Once we settle in, we put our stuff down. We'll go and grab some drinks, eat some small bites in the meantime while everybody arrives. And then that night, all right, we're going to have a candlelit dinner to set off the retreat, right? We'll have a candlelit dinner with everybody there. And then we're also going to make sure that we do a bonfire that night where we'll put everybody in a circle and we'll start to share. We'll do journal sessions, and it's just going to be very intimate, very powerful, and people are going to absolutely love this. So the Naui Beach House is gorgeous. It's a beachfront property, all right in front of the ocean, where it has some of the best food. It's probably the best place in this location, and it's absolutely incredible. Great drinks. Food is going to be included in everything. So everybody gets 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You get included within the retreat. So everything is basically set up for you. You're going to get all types of from, Salvadorian, Mesoamerican traditions, beachfront dining. There is vegan options included, Salvadorian breakfast, farm fresh ingredients, local tortillas, global and Mexican fusions. And on top of that, there's also a private omakase tasting experience, but this is only for the VIPs. All right, only for the VIPs. All right. If you want to do it on your own, you can, but it's going to be absolutely great. The food is great. There is also some add-ons that you can do. You can do the omakase experience on your own. There's a 7-course omakase experience, which is called the Ocean Love Story, or you can do the Legend of the Sea, which is the 9-course omakase. I'm going to do the Legend of the Sea. I'm actually excited for that. The 9-course, that's going to be very, very powerful. I'm excited for that. So looking forward to that. But if you also wanted to do some extra stuff, there's also extra services that you can take advantage of while you're there. Obviously, these you got to pay out of pocket, but they're very big into health, right? They're very, very big into health. For the omakase experience, I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like $60 a person. Don't like, with taxes and everything included, it might be like $70-$80, but for 9 courses. So it's like everything included, from appetizers, multiple courses, to desserts, food, everything, the whole 9. But omakases, and usually, like, that's cheap compared to, like, I went to Nobu omakase is like $250 for a Nobu omakase. So like, to be able to pay $60-$70 for an omakase is absolutely incredible. We have that. There'll be like extra services for your health, like hyperbaric chambers, IV drips, aesthetic stem cell therapy. This is expensive stuff that usually costs a lot of money in the States, but you could get it for cheaper here. These are some of the accommodations and the investments. So just so that you guys are aware of what it's going to cost, I want you guys to know that I made this extremely affordable for everybody. I wanted to make it where me and Jasmine said, yo, the purpose of this retreat is not for us to make any money in reality. We wanted to make it as affordable for everybody. Obviously, we want to make sure that the experience is at top notch, because we are going to be investing a lot of time and energy into it. But we wanted to make sure that we made it affordable for everybody, right? So there's three different packages. There's the journey, there's the awakening, and there's the solstice. And these are the packages. So just so that you guys are aware, the journey is the beach bungalows. These are meant to be a shared experience. This is going to be the cheapest option for everybody. And like I said, this comes included with everything. All right. Forget the solo. I'm not going to allow anybody to do the solo beach bungalow because I just put it up there so that you can kind of have an idea. In reality, the best way to do this one is to share this one. So if you decide to go 2 people per room, it'll only be $22.50 per person. If you decide to do 3 people per the room, which is the most you could do, is $18.50 per person. Now, this includes 4 nights of the luxury lodging, 3 chef-prepared meals daily for the 4 days that you're there, plus 3 non-alcoholic beverages. This includes your airport shuttle round trip. Remember, it is an 1.5-hour trip from the hotel to the airport back and forth, right? So that is covered. You don't have to pay for that. All the activities are also included. So the massage is included, the candlelit dinner, the healing ceremonies, the waterfall hikes, all the sacred experiences that are going to be provided by myself, like the workshops, the journaling, the one-on-one time. We're also providing a gift bag, a personal solstice journal, and a post-retreat integration group. And we're even also working on some merchandise as well. So that's the journey, just so that you guys are aware of the price. Take a screenshot. The best way to do it is to find somebody to share the bungalows with. This will be the cheapest option right here. What I recommend is finding a group, whether it's 2 girls or 3 girls or 2 boys or 3 boys, right? Like it's either going to be a girls bungalow or a boys bungalow, right? Either one or the other. It'll come out super cheap for you guys, very affordable. And that's that. Now, for my people that want private options, we have the tree houses. Now, the tree houses, obviously, this is the staple of this retreat right here. Now, if you wanted to do a solo tree house, it'll be $32.50 for you, right? That is for you. You'll get your own tree house. It's absolutely gorgeous. You'll be up like 25 feet up in the air, in the tree house, in the jungle. It's absolutely gorgeous. It comes included with everything. But if you wanted to share it with somebody, you can do it for $2,500 a person. All right. And that includes, similar to everything I just covered on the other one, which is the 4 nights, airport shuttle, the meals, ceremonies, all that good stuff, which is going to be cool. Gift bags, post-retreat integration groups, and all of that good stuff. And then last but not least is the VIP, right? The VIP, this one is the beach treehouse. Now, the beach treehouse is the staple and probably the most demanded stay here, because obviously everybody wants to be able to have the beachfront view when they jump in. So, here you get the solo is $4,000 for the solo. And if you want to double it up and if you want to share with somebody, it's $3,000 a pop. This is the most expensive one. Now, on top of that, you get everything that I just talked about. But on top of that, we also we rented out a studio that they have at the location where you can record a podcast with me. Me and Jasmine are going to do an El Salvador season for the people that do come to this. So you'll be able to record a podcast with me, a podcast episode with me. If you get this, you'll also get a one-on-one strategy session for 2026. So we'll sit down and I'll help you create a one-on-one strategy session for 2026. And you'll also get your omakase dinner experiences paid for as well. So you'll be able to sit on a private dinner with myself, and we'll have the private omakase experience with myself. And we're also going to be recording the podcast and providing content with the podcast. Okay. So this is going to be like the ultimate experience. This is the prices for it. Like I said, this is what it costs to go to retreats nowadays, especially at a location like this one. Um, Who's it for? Very simple. It's for visionary leaders that want to recalibrate. It's for high performers, seekers, creators, and anyone who's really ready to close a chapter and step into the next step of themselves. And then how to apply is pretty simple. You got to fill out the Google form. If Jasmine, if you could drop it really fast so that everybody can have it, drop the Google form if you want to apply. And also, I'll tell you guys this: look, if you can't make it to this one, still apply for the simple fact that we can get you ready and we can put you at the list for the next one. All right. And then once you apply, I'm going to be doing calls with each person individually to make sure that this retreat aligns with your vision and your mission for 2026. And if you are selected, you must be ready to pay the deposit of $500 to get in. All right. But like I said to a lot of people yesterday, only commit to making the deposit if you know 100% you're going to go to this. All right. Only if you know 100% that you're going to be able to go to this, because this is non-refundable, guys. Once you make a payment, I send these payments straight to the resort. So it's not like I'm going to have it in my bank account to give it back to you. Once I send it in, there's a quota I have to hit in order for us to get this fully secured. So I can't be giving people money back, right? Like the only way that, for example, let's say, and I'm gonna give you guys the worst case scenario here. The only way that this could work is if, let's say, you pay your deposit and then you find somebody and then you pay your first payment. The only way that we can maybe find a solution to it is if you find somebody else to fill in your place with you that's willing to basically pay you for your spot. That's the only way. But once the money is in, there's nothing I could do, right? Like my deposit that I made on this retreat, it's already done. I made the deposit June 20th. And if I wanted my deposit back, I needed to do it in the first 7 days. Those 7 days over. So that's it. The deposit that I made is gone, whether I do this retreat or not. All right, guys. So, this is very important. That's how it is with retreats. So I want to make that known here. If you're going to commit to this, if you're going to come to this, make it 100% sure that you're coming to this. All right. Make sure that those days are good. Make sure that your passport is good. November 15th through the 19th. Make sure that you guys can get these days off, whatever it is. But I promise you guys, this experience is going to be one of a kind. The reason why I say that is because in reality, all you guys got to do is just show up. All right. I made everything easy for you here. All right. I made sure that this was, because I've been to many retreats, and my favorite retreats, I was saying this on yesterday's call, was the retreats where I just had to show up. The itinerary was there. The airport shuttle was there. The food was included. In reality, the only things I really had to pay for were any extra things that I wanted to pay for, unless I wanted to get like some souvenirs or, obviously alcoholic beverages are on you. I can't pay for alcohol. So it's just one of those things that I want to make sure that you guys know. All right. But this is going to be one of those retreats that you just show up and Nano will take care of the rest. All right. Nano will take care of the rest. Everything will be taken care of, from airport shuttle to food to excursions, everything. You just have to show up and get ready to transform. Let me walk you through that 4-day journey to help you become that better version of you, so that you can step into 2026, a version of you that you never thought was possible. All right, fam. So make sure that you guys apply. It's November 2025. Yes. And there is 2 options. There's an option to pay it in full, or there's payment options as well, where you can make the deposit and then split up the rest of the payment in 3 payments. All right. You'll make a payment in August, you'll make a payment in September, and then a payment in October. And then you'll be solid and ready to go from there. So there's 2 options. That way I wanted to make it possible, because I know for some that may be too much up front. So guess what? You can just decide to make it a payment plan, or you can decide to obviously pay it all in full. So that's really everything, guys. I didn't want to jump too deep into it. I just wanted to have this presentation here also as a recording for anyone that's going to watch it later as well. But if you guys are excited for this retreat, put some fire emojis in the chat box. If you guys are excited, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. We already had so many submissions. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to be able to get everybody this. Now, I do want to say this as well. If you don't get selected, please don't take it personal. All right. I will be doing multiple retreats in 2026. My goal is to do at least 3 retreats. I'm working on something with Jasmine. Once we finalize this one, me and Jasmine are going to start working on the next one. Okay. So we're going to be working on doing multiple retreats in 2026. My goal is to do a minimum of 2, max 3 next year. In reality, I want to do one every 4 months. So that's the goal in 2024. I want to do one in the first 4 months of the year, then the second 4 months, and then the last 4 months. You have to be selected to make a deposit. Yes, you cannot make a deposit if you're not selected. Only people selected will be able to make the deposit. All right, guys, there is a huge demand for it, and I can only pick 50. The max amount of people that I can pick is if the max is about 18 people. There's 12 to 15 spots, but I'm assuming that we have a lot of, because here's the thing. The way I can have 18 people is if people share rooms. That's the only way I can have about 18 people there. It's the only way. But if everybody decides to go solo, I can only have like 10 to 12 if people go solo. So if you can't make it to this one, guys, like I said, don't worry. I'm going to do 3 of them, most likely. 2 minimum, but 3 is the goal in 2026. So if you don't make it to this one, then you just prepare, and I put you at the top of the list for the next one. All right, guys. So that's a little bit about the retreat. Jasmine put the chat box, I mean the form in the chat. Also, Jasmine, if you can drop the Telegram chat, because I'm going to be keeping everybody updated in there as well throughout the time. So if you want to keep access, to the updates and what's going to be happening, locations and so on and so forth, just go in there. And then I'll probably close all submissions this week and start making phone calls at the top of next week to make sure we get everybody locked in for it. All right, guys. So that's the retreat. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. I'm doing this for us. We spend so much time on YouTube, right? So much time on the phone, so much time on these phones and these desktops, right? It's time for us to spend time together. It's time for us to spend time together, right? For us to really spend bonding time, get to know each other, belly to belly, spend real intimate time, meet in person. Like that's what this is for. So, and did you mention that retreat? Yes. So, and also, yes, everybody does cover their flights as well, because everybody's going to be coming from different locations. So flights are on you. Now, I will tell you, surprisingly, based off of where you're flying from in the US, flights are cheap. So I checked some of the top, the top places to fly out of, which is like Miami, Atlanta, New York, LA, Texas, like all of these places, they're all less than $300-$400 round trip. Because remember, we'll also buy them, early as well. So flying into El Salvador, unless you're flying in from like outside of Europe or those places, if you're flying within the US, you're going to pay less than $500 round trip. I saw mine from Miami for $280 round trip, which is insane to think about, that I'm gonna pay $280 to fly round trip to El Salvador from Miami. So super cheap flights. But like I said, once you get there, everything is on me. I take care of everything once you're there. So you're paying for your stay, you're paying for your food, you're paying for the accommodations, all the activities, everything is covered. You don't have to pay for anything while you're there except for any extra food you want to get, any souvenirs you want to get, and if you're drinking alcohol and you want to have your drinks, then that. But outside of that, you really don't have to pay for anything once you're there. Once you make your payment for this, everything is covered. There's really people that can come out here and not even bring much money to this, because you're not gonna have to spend a lot of money while you're out there. And for my people who don't drink and don't want to get any souvenirs or anything, you literally won't spend nothing. Okay, I still recommend you to bring maybe $100. So that you can have, money to give tips while we're there. Since we're going to a third world country, I always recommend bringing some money so you can be able to give back to people. But, that's really everything right there, guys. So any extra information, guys, get in the Telegram chat. I'm answering questions in there, myself and Jasmine, and we're going to be finalizing some of that information in there as well. So let's get into today's training. All right, because obviously I wanted to share that with you guys, because I know a lot of people didn't get a chance to hop on last night. So I wanted to do a training for you guys here today as well. And today's training is titled When It Matters. When It Matters. All right. Now, this was a very important training that I wanted to cover with all of you guys, because I want to help you guys unlock a gear that unlocks the impossible, right? I wanted you guys to step into a new version of yourself for these next 6 months. And as I was reading the final chapter of my book today, he starts talking about when it matters, right? And let me I have a question for you guys this morning. Does it really matter to you? Does it really matter to you? Becoming the best version of you, does it really matter to you? Is retiring your family, does it really matter to you? Is being the best mom, the best dad for your kids, does that really matter to you? Is putting your family in a better position, does that really matter to you? Is building a closer relationship with God and serving your purpose at the highest level, does those things really matter to you? Because when something deeply matters enough, you don't just work harder, you transform. You find a new gear, one that most people will never, ever, ever tap into. History doesn't remember the talented, it remembers the people that were relentless. So today, what I want to do is I want to break down what really separates the ones that do the impossible from everybody else. Because put a one in the chat box if you want to accomplish the impossible in your life. All right. If you want to accomplish the impossible in your life, I want you to put a one in the chat box for me. Who wants to accomplish the impossible in their life? Because the ones that want to accomplish the impossible in their lives, it matters to them, right? So there's 4 ways to unlock this, and I'm actually 5, and I'm gonna cover this really quick because I know we're already 40 minutes into this training. All right, I'm gonna cover 5 ways to unlock that there's like this gear that we all have inside of us that are gonna help us step into that. Because here's the reality of it. I want all of us for the next 6 months to unlock that gear inside of us. I want all of us to step into a version of ourselves that we didn't even know was possible, so that we can go out there and accomplish the impossible. Because think about it, and this is also for my people that are coming to the retreat. Think about you also coming to the retreat. Like if you're one of those people on this call that you want to come to that retreat, why don't you go all in from now till the retreat? Make it a goal from now till November 15th. I'm going to go all in. I'll relax at the retreat. I'll chill at the retreat. I'll wait to have my margaritas on the water in that infinity pool at the beach in El Salvador. But from now till then, I'm going all in on myself. I'm going to get uncomfortable. I'm going to do what's required. I'm going to do whatever it takes. This would be a good time for you guys, especially for those that are planning on coming to this retreat. So let's talk about it, right? What is it that separates the ones who do the impossible from everybody else? Number 1, when it matters, you find a way, not an excuse. When it matters, you find a way, not an excuse. A lot of the time, we are filled with excuses. Excuses as to why we don't wake up early. Excuses as to why we're not reading. Excuses as to why we're not building our businesses. Excuses as to why we're not posting on social media. Excuses as to why we don't study every day and why we don't listen to this. And there's always excuses. And I can tell you guys right now, even myself, I've made excuses. Excuses as to why I don't want to wake up earlier anymore. Excuses as to why I don't do this. Excuses as to why I don't do that. And it made me question myself this morning as I was reading the book, because I'm like, yo, Nano, if it really matters to you, you would find a way, not an excuse. You see, there's an example of Thomas Edison with the light bulb. You know, he tried over they say that the number is 10,000 times to invent the light bulb. 10,000 times. And he didn't stop because he didn't care about failing. He cared more about creating the light bulb that will light up the world. So imagine failing 9,999 times. And then on the 10,000th attempt, you get the light bulb. And when they asked him, hey, Thomas, you know, you failed all these times. He said, I didn't fail. He said, I found 9,999 ways that didn't work. The 10,000th way, the 10,000th time it worked. This is important. So my question for you guys on this beautiful Wednesday morning is, are you spending more energy finding excuses, or are you spending more energy building paths? What are you doing? Are we spending energy finding excuses, or are we building paths? Because remember, the people that do the impossible, they're building paths. They're finding ways to make it happen. They're up the earliest. They're reading every book possible. They're studying every day. They're investing into themselves. They're doing whatever it takes to get themselves to the next level. I was reading as I was finishing up the book, you know how they do acknowledgments at the end of the book. And one of the acknowledgments was one of the guys that helped Patrick write his book. And one of the things he said about Patrick was that he's never seen a guy who invests so much time, energy, and money into his self-education. He said, I've never seen someone so obsessed with becoming the best version of themselves. That was his acknowledgement towards Patrick. That was his acknowledgement. I've never seen somebody that is so committed to becoming the best version of themselves. Can somebody say that about you? If I was to ask a friend of yours, a family member of yours, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your kids, if I was to ask them, would they say those things about you? That's a question we got to ask ourselves. Is there people out there that would say that about you? That you are obsessed, that nobody reads more books than you, that nobody invests more time, more energy, more money into you? Because you are the one that has to grow. You are the one that has to transform, fam. That retreat is an investment into you. That retreat is an investment into you. That retreat is going to change people's lives. It's going to transform people's lives. The money is nothing. We've spent thousands of dollars on things that never made us any money, that never transformed our mindsets, that never connected us on a higher level. So the money is not the issue. We spend money on things that make us no money all year of our lives. That retreat is going to change your life, but you got to invest into yourself. I can confidently say I've invested multiple six figures into Nano. Multiple six figures into Nano. You know how many books I've bought, how many retreats I've been to, how many events and conventions I paid for, how many men, just for example, my speaking mentor, just the guy I hired this year, you know how much it cost me for the year? It's going to cost me at least $25K for the year, just to have a coach me twice a month for an hour each time. Think about that. I'm paying somebody $25K for the year to coach me twice a month for 12 months. Pretty sick if you think about it. On top of that, I'm going to conventions, retreats, books, flights. All of that is all in. Maybe just this year, I'm probably going to invest six figures just this year. You have to invest into you. You can't find excuses. And that may sound insane, guys, but think about it. The most successful people in the world are doing it. Successful people are doing it. I just watched my mentor, Matt, pay $20,000 for a CEO ticket to an event. $20K. You think we're spending money? He spent $20K for a ticket to an event. I'm like, sheesh, bro, I can't wait to get there. But what is he doing? He's investing back into himself. Investing back into himself. And guess what? That trip is going to cost that investment. That's just the ticket. Remember, he has to pay for his stay now. He don't stay at no cheap hotels. I can tell you that right now. So he's probably gonna have to pay maybe another $3,000 to $5,000 in hotels, transportation, food. All in all, probably $30,000 investment, just that trip alone. But guess what he's doing? He's investing into himself. He's pouring into himself. So when it matters, you find a way, not an excuse. That's point number one. Point number two, when it matters, pain becomes your power source. This is such a good one. Pain becomes your power source. Can we all be vulnerable on this call right now? Put a 2 in the chat if you got any pain right now in your heart. Anybody got any pain right now that you're dealing with? Emotional pain, physical pain, spiritual pain. Let me throw some 2s in the chat for us because I also got some pain myself. I'm grateful. You know, in my journal today, I was writing down in my journal, and I was like, in my journal, I wrote down this line. I was like, man, Jim Rohn was right. He says, life is opportunity mixed with difficulty. He was so right about that. He was so right about when he said that. Life is opportunity mixed with difficulty. So true. Just opportunities mixed with difficulties. All right. So my sis Jasmine, she's literally in crutches, right? She had a dislocated ankle from playing rugby. So she's literally in pain, right? But I'm sure we're also dealing with some other pain. But you got to let your pain become your power source, fam. When it truly matters to you, you'll let those emotional moments that are holding you back and that you're feeling in your heart push you to work harder. I've done it many times. The pain of losing, the pain of a heartbreak, the pain of, a business partner doing you wrong, the pain of failing, the pain of watching. I told this story over the weekend to somebody. He was like, yo, what's a moment in your life that you remember that it was painful, but it turned you up? And I told him the story about my mom sitting on the corner of the bed. I'll never forget that story. And I told him the story. I'm like, yo, it's funny because I was lost when I first started entrepreneurship. And there was this night, I was a guy. So, in the summers in New York, you're up late. You're up late with the boys, you're drinking, you're smoking, you're playing dominoes. So there was this one summer night that obviously I got home like at 3, 4 in the morning. And, we were drinking outside with the boys, we were smoking, and I got home. And usually my mom is always sleeping, but I guess she had woke up. I had woke her up as I walked in the house. And mind you, I'm disoriented. I'm a little high. I'm a little drunk. We just had some drinks. When you just get home and you're just kind of like out of it from drinking so much, talking so much, smoking so much hookah, you're just kind of completely disoriented. And my mom walks in the room and I'm like, sheesh, damn. And she sits on the corner of the bed. This is like as I was starting my entrepreneurship journey, like 7, 8 years ago. She sits in the corner of the bed and she starts talking to me. And she has this mother to son conversation that I'll never forget. And she starts telling me, long story short, she just starts telling me how she like, it hurts me, son. It hurts me to watch my son throw his life away. You get home every day at 3, 4 in the morning. You wake up at lunchtime. You have no job. You make no money. And it's just, it breaks my heart to see my son go down like that. Here I am, your mom. My knees hurt from taking care of these old people. I'm barely making ends meet. And here my son is doing nothing about it. And it just breaks my heart. And she's having this conversation, and I have no words to say. Like I was on mute. I didn't even know what to say. When you start feeling like up here, like it almost feel like you're about to cry, but you don't want to cry. And I'm just sitting there listening to her say these things. I'm looking at her as she says these things to me. She like, it hurts, son. She was telling me in Spanish, like, me duele. Sobered you up real quick. Yeah, G, for real. And she said it in Espanol, fact. So, she's saying all of this in Spanish, by the way. She like, me duele, like it hurts. It hurts to watch my son throw his life away. She like, me duele ver el hijo mío que, I invested so much time, so much energy, botar la vida así. I'm 23, 24 years old. I have no job, nothing. And I'm listening, it hits different when it's your mom, And it was, that conversation hurt me. It broke me inside. Like after that, I was never the same. She don't know this. I'm gonna tell her the story one day. She probably don't even remember that moment, but that pain that she told me, she like, I don't feel good. My knees hurt. I'm taking care of 3 houses. because my mom was a home attendant. She's no longer, she's retired, but she was a home attendant, which means she took care of old people. So her shift was from 8 to 12. She took care of this old lady, an older elderly woman. And then she had a break from 12 to 1. So then she had to walk to the next house. And then from 1 to 4, she would take care of another lady. And then she would get home around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then she would take care of our house from 5. And then she would cook for us and clean for us. And I was like, and when she started to break it down for me, I'm like, yo, my mom is taking care of 3 houses. She has no life. Her life is to take care of other people. And it just broke me on the inside. I'm like, yo, and then I have all the opportunity in the world to change my life. I have a degree. I had just started my business with entrepreneurship, digital entrepreneurship, learning how to trade and invest. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, I could be working hard to help my mom out of this situation. But instead, here I am throwing my life away, smoking with my friends, drinking on the weekends, getting home at 3, 4 in the morning, spending all my time talking to girls, just literally throwing my life away. And all that pain, you know what I did? I turned it into purpose. I turned it into power. I turned it into power. And from that day forward, I was never the same. I said, you know what? Starting tomorrow, I think that was a Saturday. The next day was Sunday. I put a plan together and I said, you know what, bro? Starting tomorrow, that's it. I'm up early. I'm at the park. I'm going to start my morning routine. And ever since then, it was never the same. I went all in. And all that pain that I had, I turned it into power. Some of you guys, you're dealing with your own pain. Don't let that pain get the best of you, fam. Don't let it get the best of you. Let it turn into power. Turn all that pain you have in your heart right now into your power source. That'll be the key. So always remember that. When it matters, your pain turns into your power source. That's number 2. Number 3, when it matters, comfort is the enemy. Comfort is the enemy. If you're comfortable right now, that's your biggest enemy. You're comfortable at the time you're waking up. You're comfortable scrolling. You're comfortable not studying. You're comfortable not stepping. Like if you're comfortable right now, you need to get out of that. Because your dream demands a higher price that you got to pay. And the price you got to pay is your uncomfortable zone. You don't pay it with money. You can't pay this journey with money. You pay it by stepping out of your comfort zone. So when it matters, you got to keep in mind that your comfort is going to be the enemy. There's a story of Nelson Mandela. You guys ever heard the story of Nelson Mandela, how he chose prison over surrendering his vision? Bro, he spent 27 years locked up because he had a vision of uniting South Africa. He spent 27 years locked up, uncomfortable to stay true to his vision. You know how powerful that is? In the worst of the worst conditions that you could ever imagine. You think uncomfortable for you is hard. You think waking up early is uncomfortable. You think having to pick up a book and read it is uncomfortable. You think all these things are uncomfortable. Imagine being in prison for 27 years in the most uncomfortable, probably the worst places in the world to be in. No air conditioning, hard ass bed, the worst food for 27 years just to stay true to your vision. We have it, guys. We have it good compared to the uncomfortableness that some of the leaders of this world had to overcome. Job in the Bible had it bad as well. Another one. Lost his family, lost his friends, almost lost his wife, all his wealth, everything. You know the first thing he did when he lost everything, he gave praise to the Lord. The Lord gives and the Lord takes away. May the Lord's name be praised. Something along those lines is Job 121, one of my favorite quotes. The Lord gives and the Lord takes away. Imagine that, losing everything and praising the Lord. It's pretty dope, to be honest. It's a pretty cool thing to do. You lose everything and the first thing you do is you praise the Lord. It's incredible. It's the first thing he did. It's Job 121. Look it up. The Lord gives and the Lord takes away. May the Lord's name be praised. Something along those lines. If somebody could find it and post it in the chat, I would appreciate it. So when it matters, comfort is the enemy. That's number 3. Number 4, so we can wrap it up here. Last 2. When it matters, you inspire others beyond yourself. You know how you inspire others? Your purpose has to be bigger than you. Your purpose has to be bigger than you. It can't just be about you. It has to be about what you're going to do for others, what you're going to do for your family, what you're going to do for your kids, what you're going to do for the people that are looking up to you to be the example. Blue. Oh my God, I'm going to kill this dog, bro. This guy is literally peeing over here, bro. Why do you do that, Blue? I was going to take you outside, bro, after this, man. Why you do that? Go to the closet. Oh my God. That feeling sucks, man. Unreal. Can't believe it. All right, let's keep it going here. Well, Blue's in trouble now. He's definitely in trouble now. At least it wasn't Hazel. Actually, I would have preferred it was Hazel because Hazel just pees a little bit. Blue, when he pees a lot, bro. Shaking my head. All right, let's go with number 4. So when it matters, you inspire others with your actions, right? That's what this is all about. You want to inspire others with your actions, right? So you want to make sure that you are always the example for other people, right? You want to make sure that you're being that example by investing in yourself, right? By reading the books, by going to the events, by doing the things. You got to inspire others with your actions. That's the key. That's number 4. And then last but not least, number 5, and this is the one I really wanted to get to right here. When it matters, you unlock another gear. When it matters, you unlock another gear. You got to remember, your natural talent will only take you so far. All right? Your natural talent will only take you so far. To reach a level beyond what seems possible, you must find another gear. You got to find that deep hidden reserve you didn't even know you had. You have to look for it. You got to find it. You got to unlock it. Every single one of you on this call, you all have that deep hidden reserve that you didn't know you have. There's something inside of you that if you unlock it, it'll help you tap into a version of yourself that you didn't even know was there. I challenge all of you guys to find a way to unlock it. And the thing is that that's only something you can find. I can't find it for you. You have to find it deep down inside of yourself. You ever wonder why Kobe Bryant, right? Why Kobe Bryant was up every day at 4 a.m.? So powerful. He was up every day. Right? Here's what I was told. How do you unlock it? Well, you got to get clear on what you want and why it matters. You got to surround yourself with people that operate at that high gear. And you got to train. This is the most important part. You got to train like your future depends on it. Physically, mentally, spiritually. You got to literally work your butt off. And embrace the suffering that comes with becoming great. Every day is going to be hard on your way to become the elite version of yourself. Every day. But when it matters, you will unlock that other gear. I want to see Holly unlock that other gear. I want to see you, Mela, T, Mick, Diamond, Anna, Natavia, Eli, Eunice, Janelle, Anna, Jasmine, Ricardo, Clem, Joel. Who else? I want to see you guys. Diamond, Ben, Isabel, Eli, Mansa, Vanity. I want to see you guys unlock that version of you inside that I know you have inside of you that you still haven't unlocked. I want to see you step into that version of you that works so hard physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, that you embrace the suffering that comes with the price of greatness, that you see every hard day as a rep towards that elite version of you. That's the key. That's the key. It's your time. It's our time. Naked I come out of my mother's womb, and naked I shall return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Amen. Such a beautiful Bible verse. So guys, when it matters, you'll do whatever it takes. So here are the 5 points. Number 1, when it matters, you find a way, not an excuse. Number 2, when it matters, pain becomes your power source. Number 3, when it matters, comfort is the enemy. Number 4, when it matters, you inspire others beyond yourself. And number 5, when it matters, you unlock another gear. Family, today I challenge you guys to look inside and ask, what matters enough to you to make you find that other gear? Because think about it, guys. When it matters, you just don't wake up. You rise and go after it. When it matters, you lead. When it matters, you dominate. Let's go into these next 6 months a different version of us. Let's tap into that version of us that's inside of us and do the impossible, fam. So with that being said, that wraps up today's call. Guys, put a 555 in the chat if you guys got value from today's training. All right. Don't forget to follow the Mornings with Nano page on Instagram. If you guys haven't followed it, a lot of the content, we're going to be promoting it through the Mornings with Nano Instagram as well. I want you guys to also make sure that you are joining the Telegram chat. If you haven't joined the Telegram chat, also make sure that you guys are staying up to date with the podcast as well. I know we haven't dropped the podcast episode here in a couple months, but we're going to be recording some here soon as well. So we have some new seasons in the works. So just stay tuned. And if you want to come out to the retreat, just let us know. The Telegram chat is in the chat. Jasmine is dropping everything, and we'll make sure to keep you guys up to date with everything that's happening. All right, guys. So I love you guys so very much. Thank you all a lot for taking the time to jump on today's call. Thank you for everybody who has registered for the retreat. I'll be in contact with you guys here in the next couple of weeks as well. Like I said, if you're not able to make it to this one, please register and just let us know that you want to come out to the next one so that we could put you on the list for 2026 so that you can save up your money, get yourself ready for the next one, because there's going to be a couple that you're going to be able to take advantage of in 2026 as well. But, with that being said, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your days. I'm going to do a quick prayer and go walk my dogs because one of my dogs already kind of did me dirty. So I kind of go make it happen. All right, guys. So quick prayer. Let's pray and we'll make it happen. All right, Father, Lord, we just want to say thank you so much for blessing us with this beautiful morning. We're so blessed and grateful for all the work that you're doing for us each and every single day. We understand now more than ever that we need to have a strong why, and there's something inside of us that a lot of us have not had the chance to unlock, Father. And today I want to come on this call, and I speak on behalf of everybody that's listening, the 100 plus. There's something inside of us that we haven't unlocked yet, and I want to ask you, Father, to please help us find a way to unlock that. Lead us in the right direction. Give us the wisdom. Give us the words. Give us the conversation. Help us meet the person. Help us have the conversation, the one nugget, the one idea that's going to help us unlock that version of us inside of us, because we need that version of us to become better. We need that version of us to provide for our family. We need that version of us to continue to serve. And we just want to be able to unlock that, Father. So if you can do us that favor, Father, help us unlock that. Help us find that deep burning desire inside of us to help us change. Make us aware of it. Let us do whatever it is that we got to do to be the example, God. And we want to do it just all for your glory and for your praise, Father. So thank you so much for all that you're doing for us. Thank you for this community. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your love. These next 6 months are going to be incredible. We love you. We appreciate you. Let's go out there and have a great day. In God's name we pray. Amen, amen, amen. All right, guys. So that wraps up today's call. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for always supporting me, loving me, and being here with me throughout the process. The Telegram chat is in the chat. The application for the Solstice Retreat is also in the chat. And if you guys want to stay up to date with everything, just keep stay in the loop with everything. All right, fam. I love you. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless.